So starting with the announcement that 14th of March we are doing the astrology classes. I think only one or two are left. The group is also formed, so all good. So today we'll talk about 3rd of March 2026, where a lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse is going to be happening. Now, while we understand that this lunar eclipse is happening in the sign of Leo, and the axis will be Leo and Aquarius, we have to see few little things. On 3rd, it will take care in the nakshatra of Purva Phalguni, which is the nakshatra ruled by Shukra, Venus. And the lord of this nakshatra is called Bhaga. This aligns with Leo zodiac sign, and the complete nakshatra falls into the Leo sign only. Purva Falguni is nakshatra that is associated with relationships, creativity, pleasure, and comfort. And Lord Bhaga also rules the eyes. Anything to do with eye diseases, blindness, challenges related to eye is all ruled by Bhaga. Any event management, those who are doing event management, those who are doing anything to do with events management, or um, any kind of luxury business, any kind of business related to pleasure, is all related to Venus and Bhaga. That's why Venus is called the planet of pleasure. Now we will get into all the 12 signs and understand where the eclipse is happening and what are the precautions that we need to take during this eclipse period. Now, for Aries ascendant, the axis will be on the 5th and the 11th. That means here the intense energy is formed around your social circles, also professional networks, also incoming gaze, also, and there is the possibility that it is going to be happening in the 5th house related to, we can say, the speculative gain, children, all these things. So now when it comes to this period, those who are actually pregnant right now, those who are have conceived, and those who are trying to give childbirth, I have given the timings also. According to New York time, it is going to be 3:44 a.m. till 9:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and according to Indian Standard Time, it is from 2:16 p.m. till 7:52 p.m. So it is going to be broad daylight for all the people who are in India, and it is going to be night for North America. But still, we want to be very sure about three or four things, very important. Number one, when it comes to from now only till 4th of March, till the time the whole eclipse energy does not end, we should be very careful about speculative investments. We should be also careful about those who are pregnant women. They should not be going out during the eclipse period, for sure, but now also try taking more precautions. Try to get into more of meditative state, try to go into do a little bit of sadhana. Try to be careful, don't do anything in haste during this time. Those who are having exams also during this time, your mind may get too much involved into different activities altogether. So sometimes in this situation, keep your mind calm. Try to do as much as Vishnu Sahasranam as you can do. With the axis of the eclipse between 5th and the 11th house, this is also related to romantic life. It is related to romantic life, and sometimes it is also related to your social circle, like somewhere where you go out to meet people. This is the period where a lot of krura grahas, that means even Surya, Mangal, Rahu, everyone is in the 11th house for you, that is social circle. So we want to avoid any kind of conflict, or if there are certain things we cannot avoid, like a conference or stuff like that, then it's okay. But big group gathering, either it can be for religious purposes, either it can be for movement, any kind of rebellious purposes, we should avoid any such situations, because there is where maximum mishap can be seen in your chart. You will also see that the sense of detachment regarding romance can build up, lot of breakups. It's not only that, but many times at this period, because eclipse is a very karmic event, at this time many karmically also things come together. So there is a possibility of some good news also, but there are possibilities of maximum bad news is related to rift with children, sometimes misunderstanding with children, with your loved ones, with romantic partner. So we want to be very careful. Those who are giving exams, again I'm telling you, repeating, because this is the house of students as well, where the eclipse is happening. You need to be very, very careful related to the exam, and do as much as Lord Vishnu's mantra, because see, 5th house is ruled by Surya here, and you have to give the power to overcome any difficulty of 5th house is only in the hand of Lord Vishnu, because this is the house related to Lord Vishnu. On an overall level, avoid any investments, heated arguments with friends, practice kind of patience as much as you can, and with your children, with your romantic partner, and meditate to calm that racing mind. Because whenever moon and ketu come together, mind becomes too overwhelmed, like too overwhelmed. It does not know where to go, how to react. Sometimes in anger, at fraction of a second, an anger will come, and that will destroy a very long term relationship. So that's why we want to be as submissive, careful, and behave in this energy. When it comes to all the pregnant women, when it comes to all the people, do not cook during the time of eclipse. Try to be keeping your curtains closed. Do not look at it. Even if it is lunar eclipse, do not look, because the environment, the rays are not positive at that point of time. And also, when it comes to using sharp objects like cutting, chopping, should be avoided. Those who are in medical professional and will use sharp objects, there is no way that you can stop it, so you should keep doing it. But otherwise, when it is not required at home to chop, cut, this, that, it's very important to follow these small remedies that our ancestors have said. After the eclipse is complete, you can actually donate some rice or something white to the temple or any place of religious belief that you belong to. That will give you more and more happiness. All the very best. I hope that you have a very safe and a good time here. And rather than panicking, mostly get into some mantra siddhi during this time. You do start doing mantra siddhi, and especially related to Vishnu, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You will see that your prayers are actually directly heard by Lord Vishnu at this point of time. So all the very best. Now, for Taurus ascendant, we will see that the eclipse is going to be happening in the 4 and the 10 axis. Now, this 4 and the 10 axis are related to your inner peace and happiness, and also your career life. Now, see the impact of your planets in the career area. You have Sun, you have Mars, you have Venus, you have Mercury, you have Rahu here. So it's a very, very powerful place on 3rd of March that you will see that all these are aligning and mostly your career and your public image are heavily activated at this point of time. We want to be very careful related to power struggles. We don't want to enter into new power struggles. Suddenly new responsibilities can come in. That means many, I have seen, and I'm talking to everyone every day, many people have got job offer at this point of time only. That eclipse is their job offer came, this came, that came. Very good, very nice. Progress is important, but whenever any job offer or any new job or joining happens during this time of an eclipse, we want to be careful about, is it the right research that we have done? Because sometimes it can be very good, or you may get higher pay, and 3 months later they may say, okay, thank you so much, we don't need you anymore. So somewhere, have you done your research very, or is it just an illusion? It is just some greed that is taking you towards that you are leaving your comfortable job and going somewhere. So these kind of things needs to be thought about during an eclipse period. Sometimes it may also bring you to a lot of competitive environment that we want to achieve everything. The saving grace only here is Jupiter's aspect, which is putting the aspect on the 10th house, which will save your career. There will be no big problem. But when we come to the home area, Ketu and Moon are all alone here, and at this point of time, this eclipse bring an emotional void or a deep need to either declutter. Either there can be some rift, challenges, battles, worrisome environment at home. And even when you see that, sometimes very isolation also, sometimes even isolation from outer world, you get into a very, very isolated place. This time is the time now before eclipse. If you're watching this video now before eclipse, try to get into possible home environment cleaning, aura cleaning. Try to wipe your home with some sea salt, so that the energy around your home is very powerful, positive. And during the time of eclipse on 3rd of March, depending on the time zone, I've written both the time zones here, you can check. Depending on the time zone that you are into, you will Google and you will find it. Make sure at that point of time your home becomes a place of meditation, a place of solitude. You are sitting quietly in dark, trying to do mantra chanting, trying to do lot of things related to even set your goals for the future. Eclipse is that darkness, that time that from where darkness turns into light. So this is the time that your darkness or something, some thoughts which were not getting clarity, may get mental clarity also here during this time. Since my sister, she's expecting her child to be born next month only in March, so I would advise her also, as she's watching right now, Rachi, to make sure that during the eclipse period, do not go out. Absolutely, when it's in the afternoon, so from 2:16 p.m. to 7:52 p.m., don't try to go out, take any adventure, cutting, chopping. This, it's better time to just be on the bed, relax, sleep, or sleep, not even sleep, just meditate, just listen to some good Bhagavad Gita quotes, or maybe anything to do with more of, we can say, some religious text or some spiritual things which will help your mind, come out of some negativity, some come out of some fear, so which is very good for you. No cutting, chopping. Those who are very vulnerable, young children, older people, should also not go out during this time, because it's a heavy period, and this is a total lunar eclipse, and it's in Purnima also, and that is holy also. So it's so many things happening together at one time. So be safe. Remedy: that strictly maintain your work life balance, donate to local shelter or support maternal figures, somewhere where old woman would be there, or woman shelter is where you should go and do some kind of charity after the eclipse. Some white items like rice or milk, or something white sweets, that's what you should be doing. And consciously leave office frustrations just behind, just at your door, at your door of your home. You do not want to bring it in. Otherwise, this is going to bring that negative energy and it will stay in your house. We don't want that. Office problem should be outside your home. It should not come enter during this period of an eclipse. Even don't discuss any kind of office politics or this that at home. It may either not you, but someone else who's dependent on you may get very worried at this point of time, that, what if something happens to them, what is going to happen to our life, our kids, our this, our mortgage, so many things. So please be very, very careful. All the very best. Thank you so much. Do comment below. Let me know if you are going through the moon period or Rahu period right now. So you need to be extra cautious. Okay. All the best. Let's move to the Gemini sign now and understand what is happening here. For Gemini, we will see the axis where the eclipse is happening is going to be your third house as well as your ninth house. When we look at the ninth house, all the five planets, that is Sun, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Rahu, are making that Panchayat Yoga. And on top of that, the third house has Moon and Ketu, which is why whenever they come opposite to each other, the lunar eclipse will happen. When Moon goes and meets Sun here, there is a time the solar eclipse happens. That's how exactly it works. Now, here, when it comes to the ninth house, it is about your higher education, about learning, about gurus, about belief system, about, we can say, any kind of journey that you're taking, even small pilgrimage. This time, suggesting very strongly that because of a complete lunar eclipse, it's not a very big deal because it happens every year. But depending on the Mahadasha, Antardasha, sometimes we are going through a period of a vulnerability which can create some challenges in our life. Because that's why when we are doing any kind of long distance travel, when we are doing any kind of, we can say, some new enrollment in some education, etc., there may be a period of little bit of disturbance here, so which you may anticipate right now, so that if there are delays coming, you should be prepared what to. So don't only go one way when you're doing traveling, when you're doing education, when you're doing any learning, or even when it comes to your bosses, because ninth house is the bosses for you. So you want to be having a plan B. That is the first thing I would advise. You might experience a sudden urge to defend your philosophy or take unplanned trip. In that case also, sometimes unplanned trip can lead you to very, very great places, so that is good. But when it comes to defending your philosophy, don't get over fanatic arguments about religion, about culture with your friends. That is something that I suggest. Also, with eclipse happening in the third house, which is the house of short distance travel, there can be disruptions in short distance travel, there can be cancellations, there can be some kind of, and the eclipse energy is going on from 17th of February, and it will be running till 3rd of March, 4th of March. So this whole period is a period of uncertainty. The moment moon is going closer to the node of Ketu, the south node, that is where it goes more aggressive. That is happening on the 3rd of, what do you say, March. Now here you will also see that it tells you that when it comes about communication, when it comes about short distance travel, when it comes about siblings, friends, this is the time to be extra careful. Don't overcommit. Or sometimes when moon is with Ketu being an aggressive planet and dominant in this place, it can also lead you to get into anger, like sudden anger, and with impulsive actions also. Sometimes we take impulsive actions that, okay, you know what, I have to achieve this, I have to do this, I have to get this done right now. These kind of events or these kind of feelings should be controlled, suppressed, not given too much importance. That is required for you. With moon and Ketu together in the third house, you will also see that you know it will, you need to let to go out of outdated communication habits, like fighting or always creating some kind of a chaos, or sometimes getting into middle of chaos of other people. So try to get avoided, because what does eclipse mean? Eclipse mean that now you are going to be entering from darkness towards light. This shows the world that after darkness that 100% comes light. So this is also the time for period who have been feeling demotivated in their life, that nothing is working out, it is also going wrong, this is also going wrong. You will feel that now everything will start working according to your aura after this eclipse. So this is very good. Also, when we see this eclipse, this is related to your neighbors, your siblings. So this time is the time to navigate that emotional distance from siblings and from neighbors. Try to don't be a people's pleaser also, and don't ignore other people's problem also. So somewhere in the middle ground you have to stand this time. Avoid getting pulled into heated debates over religion or politics. Read grounding spiritual text, and triple check your travel itinerary before departing, even your passport, even your this, even see the flight. Maybe you go and suddenly it's cancelled, maybe bus is not taking the route today that we are supposed to go. So somewhere that is where disruption can come. Now, there is one more important thing which we cannot ignore. Moon is the second house lord and sitting in the third house, and it is going to be in an eclipse, which means that we should be careful about investments also. We should not make any hasty decisions or lend money to friends, etc. during this time. If they ask, politely refuse that. Okay, not right now. We are going through a difficult time. Not be able to provide something. Good news for people who are waiting for some kind of transformation related to job for them. So this time, even in the eclipse period, job can be very, very promising. So if change of job, new job opportunities are going to come, so all the very best for that. So small disclaimer for all the people, or all the subscribers, and who those who are watching don't even subscribe, that's also okay. But you need to see that whenever it is related to your pregnancy, if someone is pregnant, someone is expecting right now, in this time you should not be going out during the eclipse period, not to be seeing. Obviously it's a lunar eclipse, so nothing happens when you see or from naked eye, but the energy is there, so we don't want to let our eye capture those energy and bring it to our soul. So we don't want it. The eye is the window to the soul, remember this. Whatever you see, you absorb, the soul absorbs. So this should be avoided. And those who are very old vulnerable people should not also go out during this period, because the energy is right, the mind is into complete conflict, and you may fall sometimes, you may have some health problems. So we don't want that. No using any sharp objects like cutting. If you're a surgeon, you cannot help it, you have to save other people, so you have to use it. But when it comes to normal home things, unnecessary that they we think, oh, you know what, today let me drill something, let me cut something, let me make something. Try to avoid everything, and please believe and focus more on religious texts, and what you say, something, some whatever your religion allows. Try to get into a little bit of more spiritual environment in your house. Thank you and all the best. Take care, be very safe this eclipse, and see you in the next video. All the best. Cancer or Karka Lagna. We will talk about Cancer here. Your Lagna Lord, that is the ascendant Lord, is going to be going to the second house with Ketu, and between the second and the eighth axis, there is going to be a absolute eclipse, a complete and total lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse, many astrologers make very what do you say, make very much money on this lunar eclipse, that it is going to be this, you do this puja, it is this, and it is holy also is there, so it is one in a lifetime, and what all stupidity they will ask say. But lunar eclipse is a yearly event. Two times it will happen. Solar eclipse will happen two times, so it is not avoidable. It's not like a rare, yeah, sometimes like blood moon is coming, it is rare. So yes, we understand these kind of placements, but it is always there, like this eclipses happen. So you have already gone through so many years of eclipse, so nothing major happened. But something that we need to be absolutely pinpoint careful about is the money pattern for you. When I talk about second house eclipse, money, your speech, aggressive speech at this point, speaking without thinking, overcommitment, these are the things that should be avoided in your workplace, also for your family, also both the places. When it comes to Leo, this is the sign of, this is the fire sign, and a planet like moon, you will get overwhelmed, like something extra, unnecessary extra stress coming from every side. You will not even understand why this stress is coming. So that is something that we will see with moon in the second house here. With moon in the second house, this is also the house that is related to the eyes. So sometimes in this eclipse period, your eyes, and and it is happening in the nakshatra of bhaga, and bhaga is related to eyes and blindness and whatnot. So we want to be very careful related to eye fatigue. I would say I'm a Leo ascendant. I'm feeling so much eye fatigue that I can't even explain. So this is exactly what is happening to you. With Moon and Ketu together in the second house, you will also see that when it comes to dental problems, when it comes to this certain period, is not to ignore anything that comes related to dental problems, some mouth related problems, or sometimes throat related problems. Try to see a doctor immediately. Okay, as that's what it says. Now, the eighth house is the other axis of this eclipse. And here, what is happening? It is five planets sitting together: Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Rahu. Now, here you see eighth house is the house of major transformation on a life level, something sudden events happening on a life level, and also related to joint finances. If you are married, if you are in a business partnership, the joint finances that you have here in this situation in the eighth house, it is going to be very overwhelming period for you. Sometimes even related to taxes, even related to if you are in a midst of a discussion of inheritance, it can go either way. The saving grace here is Jupiter's aspect that will make sure, but Jupiter is also retrograde at the moment. So somehow this period calls for a little bit of more awareness, or we can say more attentiveness towards certain sudden events, certain fluctuations, either into your joint finances. Sometimes, money loss can happen. Sometimes unexpected great money comes in and you are overwhelmed. What the hell do we do with it? Nothing to do with it till 4th of March. Try to be just calm down. Let 4th March come, let my birthday come, then you make some decisions related to what kind of use you want to bring that money into. You will also see that during this time, the eclipse is going to create sometimes sudden secrets come on surface. There is possibility that sudden intimate environment comes on surface, like sometimes even not going out of marriage, but sometimes getting into pure love, or finding your love or soulmate, or sometimes discussing some deep dark things with the partner. So that is something that we see. A very good time for an intimacy, very good time to actually create bond with your partner. So very beautiful. Now, on an overall level, there is one small thing which I want to say, that do not make new investments or take a joint debt during this period. Try to avoid everything. Practice moments of intentional silence to stabilize your speech and protect your peace. Try to be more calm, more silent, more meditative. That is what your if you're speaking something, it should be mantra chanting. If it is not required anywhere, just unnecessary speaking, it is more of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or we can talk about your chart, Om Kartikyaya Namaha, Hanumanji, Hanuman Chalisa. These are the things that you should be doing at this point of time. If you belong to different religious faith, and then you should do your ayats, you should do your Bible verses, all this practice. This is going to help you navigate all the problems during this eclipse period. Now, pregnant women, especially those who are those who are conceived after a long time, any pregnant woman, actually doesn't matter. You should be very careful, not go out in the eclipse time. I have given the times here according to New York and Indian Standard Time. You can just search on Google. Not a good time to cook something, put gas somewhere, because your mind is completely going into darkness. At that point, you are not attentive. You put a gas on and you forget about it. It will catch fire. So these kind of things should not be done. No cooking, no eating. Sometimes while eating, you suddenly bite your, what you say, tongue, and it can become problem, and you will be able to have challenge because your mind is not in the right state. So mind and hand and eye and mouth coordination is not great. That's why all such things are said. Scientifically also, it is said that during the eclipse period, a lot of uncertain things happen in everyone's life. So that's why we should avoid such things. Those who are don't use sharp objects. Now, if you're a surgeon, you have to use sharp objects. There is no option, but you're skilled to do that. But still, those who are working at home and suddenly they want to become a carpenter that day, or they want to become some drill some hole somewhere, not to do all this kind of stuff. Try to avoid every working with sharp objects, cutting of vegetables, etc. should all be avoided. All the very best. I hope that you have a little bit of peaceful and nice and beautiful eclipse, which means that it should bring your darkness, clear your darkness, and bring you towards light. That's my wish and my prayers. So all the very best. Have a great beautiful time, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Leo. So for Leo people, we will see here that the eclipse is happening in the most intense place. That is the Lagna was first house in the 7th house. It is all about relationships. And at this point of time, you must have felt that intense relationship fluctuations, patterns are going on. Sometimes even, getting into love, getting into new relationships, getting into know someone new. These kind of areas is what, because all five planets are completely working with that we can even say sexual energy, we can even say your intimate energy, we can even say some new bond, some new relationship that is happening here. While the eclipse is directly happening on your ascendant, this is profound time of personal shedding and identity shifts. Somewhere this eclipse will bring you towards a lot of maturity. You will understand that, okay, this kind of a pattern, this kind of a feeling which you are having for a very long time is now shedding. You are shedding all this, and you are getting into new identity shifts, somewhere where you are more becoming more responsible, becoming more careful about your approach in life. You will sometimes in this time physically you may feel absolutely drained, and honest to god, I am Leo ascendant. From the past 10 days, it's so difficult to concentrate, almost 17 hours, 18 hours work, which is very good. I love working, but you get drained, man. There is no motivation after a point of time, that you feel that, hurry, this work has to be done. It is not like, oh, I need to do this work, and then the work has to be completed. So that kind of feeling happens, and it is a very natural thing to happen during an eclipse. Your 12th house lord, subconscious mind lord, is going to be going into a little bit of transformative period. So this is ready, this can happen. Also, when you see here, the heavy lineup in the seventh house points to intense, explosive, or sudden developments in your business partnerships, in marriage, in even something to do with, we can say, what do you call, some big contracts coming to your life. And if you're going through a very, very malefic period right now, then you may get a lesson by not, maybe you have not put a lot of attention in a contract. Some big contract can even go away from your life. For these, a lot of remedial measures should be actually observed and should be done, because this is very important time for you. With the first and the seventh axis, we will also see that personality changes happen during this time. This is very, very okay. But on top of that, many a times, a lot of detachment starts happening. You start detaching from other people. You find the truth that nothing is very permanent, or nothing is very, very actually the way it is supposed to be. Everything is ever constant changing. The change is the only constant. That's what we say, right? That's the thing. With the seventh house, by god's grace, you are being completely aspected by Jupiter, which is putting the ninth aspect here, which can actually give blessing, but it is in retrograde motion. The energy of Jupiter is inward, which means that it may show results little delay. So you have to get something second hour, or if you get a stupid example I will give you. You get a tea, but you are in an important conversation, you forget it, you got the tea, but because of retrograde motion, you may have the tea once it is cold. So that kind of thing. So things may come to you, but a little bit later. That is what even if it comes now, you will be able to enjoy the fruits a little later, like little few, depending on your mahadashanta also. Okay, so overall, all the pregnant women not to get out of the house when it is when it is eclipse. All the older people, very, very young children who can, who are already ketu, who do not have the right mindset to take action. So for that situation, you should not go out, and no using sharp objects, cutting, chopping, all these things should be avoided. Yes, if it is a matter of that, oh yes, it is the, it is my, I'm a surgeon, I have to do this, what do I do? So that is the 100%, you're saving a life. God is there with different energy force for you. But unnecessary cutting, chopping during that time, using scissors, nails, and becoming carpenter for that one day should be avoided. Okay, that's my suggestion to you. All the very best. If you would collectively know, prioritize self-care at this point of time. And one more thing, those who are going for botox, those who are going for any kind of skin related to, in this whole eclipse period, the video when I'm making till the time 3rd of March, you should not do anything related to some beauty and whatnot. Even I would suggest that grooming etc should be avoided at this point. Just wait till 4th of March, let my birthday come, then you make all this. So that is what it is. Prioritize self care and protect your physical health above all else. Give your partner the benefit of doubt and avoid making impulsive decisions to start or end a relationship, because this time your mind is not in your control. Your soul is not in your control. It is in the control of Rahu and Ketu. So they will act malefically, because this is their time. They say, yes, this is my time. I'm going to put eclipse over this. So they feel dominant, they feel powerful, and sun and moon, even in Purnima, feel a little bit of drained. Okay, your ascendant lord drained, your 12th house lord, subconscious mind, drained. So we want to make sure that we are careful here. All the very best. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video, and let's you have a safe eclipse. Virgo. Virgo, we will see that the eclipse, the combination of the eclipse is happening in the 12th as well as the 6th house. So that means the house that is related to your foreign travel, sleep, enemies, workplace, daily routine, all these things is where you will see the powerful energy shift. Now, when we talk about the five planets in the sixth house for you, this is a very powerful combination where you will see that mostly at the workplace, things may be not in the right order. You may be experiencing that starting from the eclipse period, from the solar eclipse period from 17th of February onwards, things may be moving a little bit out of place, out of, sometimes delay also. Sometimes there can be possibility of job change, job loss also. Sorry for that, but yes, it is a period going on which is a challenging period. If by chance you're going through the any luminary mahadasha, there is either sun or moon or even Rahu and Ketu, so this is a tough time. Now your daily routines, your debts, and your workplace dynamics are energized at this point of time, which means that it can go either way actually. Sometimes very aggressive way, sometimes very very calm way. But what we want to understand and where we want to be careful is the things related to debt. This is not the time to actually give other people debt. Like if you want to, if someone asks you that give me something, give me this, that, whatnot, like maybe $100 I will give you after 2 months. No, this is a time you have to politely say no, because during this period, if debt is given, it may be very much possible that it can turn your debt into enmity, like your friend into enmity or some family member into enemy, because this is the problem related to this house. Also, when you see Mars and Rahu like planet here, sometimes this is the time that the energy is so powerful that you see that people related to enemies who are creating trouble to your life, you want to confront them, you want to, you know overpower them, or we can say even fight with them. So this is that period where eclipse comes into play. Your mind will say 10,000 different things, but your action should be very calm and relaxed. Nothing to do right now. Let the eclipse end. Let Surya from 14th of March, 14th 15th of March, let it enter into the sign of Pisces, then shant, then relax and think about what to do. That is very very important here. Also, when you see here, um, it is a good time. By the way, it is a good time if you have aggressive drive to conquer your competitors. Yes, why not? But this could easily lead to burnout or sometimes even sudden health flare up, because the 12th house is about, and 6th house is about your health also. It's about hospitals, it's about jail, it's about isolation, isolated places. So we want to be very careful. Neither we are taking any enmity, neither we are getting into any fights, neither we will ignore even smallest to small health problems. Even if you have heartburn in the night, you're not feeling well, you cannot call it that it is an acid reflux and I will take care of it. No, check your blood pressure, check your other vitality, that if everything is good, it can lead to sometimes very unexpected sudden health problems, so which we want to avoid. Now, you must have been noticing that this whole month, like especially half of the month from 15th of February onwards only, the sleep pattern must have been become very, very difficult for you. Your sleeping habits, your pattern are going completely way out of hand. And that is because of this eclipse that is happening and that is building up in the 12th and the 6th axis. So this eclipse in your 12th highlights disturbed sleep, high expenses, and even powerful spiritual awakening behind closed doors. So which is one good news, that you may be now powerfully associated or be interested into some kind of spiritual sadhana. That is nice, that is good news. But when it comes to your own your own mind, it may not be stable and it may be going multiple places. Ketu in the 12th house will also, like generally from last year May, when Ketu transited here, you must have seen a feeling of more isolation. Like even with many people around, you may feel that I am all alone, I'm all, this kind of feeling can become much more higher. Now, the most cautious sign is the Virgo sign. The reason is here in the 11th house, in the nakshatra of pleasure. The nakshatra of pleasure is where the moon is going and getting into an eclipse. Now, what is pleasure? 12th house is bed pleasure. So sometimes, even if we are opting for any kind of bed pleasure related activity, sometimes we may even go little bit unethical in that area. We should avoid every such situation, otherwise everything will come on surface and you are going to get screwed. On the other hand, if overall, if you want to understand this placement, Stray, stick to a strict grounding daily routine like yoga, meditation has to be, it's a must during this time. And prioritize your physical health rather than any other. Mental health, I know it is a challenge, it will solve slowly, but physical health we cannot ignore, even small issues also. In fact, this is the time that you will see that either for you or either for someone else, you may even go to a clinic, a hospital, some medicine expenses on that areas can happen here. It is that time going on, so you cannot avoid it. Also, practice little bit of small meditation or breathing exercises before going into the bed, and avoid getting involved into workplace gossip or taking out loans like in this time. Even if you want to apply for some loan or something, if you apply, then there may be possibility of a possible rejection, so please be very careful. When it comes to competition, then this becomes very powerful, because any competition that you're doing this period, it is going to be in your favor, and you're going to really get something, we can say some very nice victory out of it. But don't be overconfident. Try to be as calm, as patient. Try to pray as much as you want to Lord Shiva. And during this eclipse period, try to make sure that your fears are ending. This is the time that your fear, like biggest fear in your life, will end, and you may start some with a very positive attitude. So all the very best. This is a very good news for all the Virgo, but it is very intense, huh? When it comes to Virgo, very intense period, so be careful. All the best. Thank you. I will see you in the next video. Now let's move on to our beautiful and the most amazing Libra ascendant people. Libra, we will be seeing that the eclipse is going to be on the axis of 11 and 5, which means that it will involve everything related to creativity, speculative gains, anything in terms of children, childbirth, and also your social circle. So this becomes a very big window at this moment. Now, since we are talking from 17th of February 2026 till 4th of March, like 3rd of March, now you will see here with all the planets all settled in the fifth house, Sun, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Rahu, this becomes an extreme intense placement of this trillium. You will also see certain events that are related to children, sometimes even related to creative aspect. The most important, like people ignore the fifth house in a very larger level, but you should never ignore, because what happens here is that this fifth house is exactly eighth from the 10th, which means there is possibility of lot of career changes also, like sudden career shifts, career changes can be happening here. Now you might feel a strong urge also to change a job, sometimes quit, sometimes things are not working according to your mindset, sometimes you're feeling humiliated or ignored. Just patience, that's my suggestion, because this is going to be there, the energy is going to be present here till 4th of March. Once we are off this, then we are absolutely, so if there are intense situations at the current period in your workplace, just patience and relax, that is my suggestion. Especially because moon is the 10th house lord and sitting in the 11th house with Ketu, this can create some a detachment or rift, or some kind of some people trying to cause that actually sharp pain in the career area. Sometimes this also means that if big contracts or big job offers or some things are coming, they may get delayed, or even they may have come many times, because I talked to someone today only, Libra ascendant, and they had an offer, they quit in their workplace, they accepted this offer, and it was revoked. That's why they did an urgent consultation today, that what do we do, because it was revoked. They said, no, we are not hiring anymore. So now this person is saying, I am not there also, I'm not here also, what do I do? So this kind of things can happen, and I explained him, because of the eclipse energy, sometimes these kind of problems happen. Those who are even trying for any IVF, childbirth, anything to do with terms of education in a foreign country, like for IVF, etc., not a very great period right now, because because of the eclipse energy in the fifth house of children. That's why it's not that great time. Rahu signifies, remember this, Rahu signifies anything that has to do with artificial insemination. But when it comes to this current period, then when Sun is here, Mars is here, then this becomes a very Krura placement of, Krura grahas. That means three Krura grahas total in totals: Rahu, Sun, and Mars. So we should not be doing something like that. Now, you will also see that because fifth house is related to speculation and 11th house is related to gains, sometimes rather than speculative gains, we get speculative losses. So not a very good time to make big investments. because speculative losses can come. So we don't want that at all in our life. And however, emotional detachment sometimes in your large friend groups, or sudden shifts in your long term goals, your goals which we were supposed to achieve right now, delays, or there can be some changes. So do not worry. This is temporary energy. Once the energy shifts, then automatically things will be moving in the right direction for you. Now, you need to channel this intense energy into physical hobby, huh? Art, sports, running. Like, don't do too much, because eclipse energy sometimes we may fall, hurt ourselves, and whatnot. But try to be a little bit more active. Maybe, in fact, active also in terms of book and paper, like write, creativity, right? Let these all energy put your stress into a different place. Write something, make a journal, that kind of stuff, and avoid gambling or any speculative trading, and don't force social interactions. If you feel the need to withdraw, I would suggest withdraw beforehand. Like if you're going somewhere for a party, for some event, for some stage speaking, try to withdraw immediately rather than when things are not in your control. Important thing for all the people who are pregnant, you should be not going out during the eclipse. I have given the time according to New York time. It is 3:44 a.m. So obviously, mostly 99% will be sleeping, but it is there till 9:23. So those who go to morning joggings and what do you say, morning routine, they have to go out. Try to avoid this day. This is your break time. So try to, because temples will also not be open, so it is better to just sit, meditate at home, feel the energy, do some yoga practice also at home only, nothing outside. So a pregnant woman should be very careful, children should be very careful, not going out during the eclipse. And when it comes to very old and vulnerable class, important. Now in North America or in the places like these, very early morning at 6:30 we started making breakfast. This is not the right day, 3rd of March, to make a breakfast in that morning. After 9:30, take shower, clean everything, and then you can go around your routine. Okay, all the very best. Because cutting, no using sharp items. Now, if you're a surgeon, then you do not have a choice. But if you are at home and you're cutting something, just be either careful or either don't do it. Nothing will happen if you don't do it for such a time. Maybe if you want to prepare something, you can prepare the night before, keep it, and then use it in the morning. If there is some situations where you have to eat, those people who take medicines, etc., that's how you should be going about it. Thank you. All the very best. Now let's move to the Scorpio sign. And here in Scorpio, we will see the 4th and the 10th house will be active during this eclipse period. With 4th and 10th house active here, the maximum impact happens in the 10th house of your career. Now, this is important. We need to understand that Moon is the 9th house lord of a destiny, which is completely going into an eclipse, complete total lunar eclipse, blood moon, and whatnot. Now, here we need to be careful with this Mars aspecting Moon. And also, the Moon and Ketu conjunction in the workplace, it can create some major challenges, major fights, sometimes emotional disagreements, and Cold War. These are the kind of things that you may see. But your domestic, on the other side, your domestic environment, at your home environment, also becomes a little bit of intense during this period, because there can be suddenly certain renovations, maybe some challenges related to some repair of our home items, something to do with more of, especially electronic items go very bad during this period. When Sun and Rahu are together at that point, electronic items really, really give us a very hard time. Those who are shifting during this period, those who are buying or signing new property during this period, those who have already decided that their XYZ delivery is going to happen in the home, furniture, whatnot. If possible, 2nd and 3rd of March should be avoided as date to take possession, to take a new car, to do some renovation work, because it's not a very great time. Anyone else also who will come to work for you may not be in the right sense because of the eclipse, and some mishap can happen. So we should avoid it. But if it is unavoidable, then with remedies it will be able to be done. Then you don't have any other choice. Now, while we talk about this kind of a placement also, we will understand that 4th house is related to the mother, like mother and health of mother. So health of mother has to be also taken into utmost consideration here. Also, conversely, the eclipse is in your 10th house, that brings sense of detachment from your career, or feeling you're being unappreciated at work, urging you to rethink your professional path, quit papers, this, that, George Bloss. And if you're going through very good Mahadasha, then there is a possibility that new job offer may also come during this time. But eclipse, any job offer that comes during eclipse period has to be thought thoroughly before we take any action in that area. Now, with fourth and 10th house, the majority of the energy is going to be around your workplace as well as your home. So, work-life balance has to be maintained at any cost during this time. Make sure that whatever problem is there in the workplace, do not bring it to your home. Otherwise, look at five planets. Five planets. Sometimes because of our anxiety at work, we say something. For example, you come and you tell your husband or you tell your wife, I had this at work. It's so stressful. The whole family atmosphere becomes a little bit of sad and dull because everyone gets insecure. What if something like this happens, that happens? Try to be as non-verbal about any kind of negativity during this time. Only till 3rd of March. 4th of March onwards, when my birthday comes, you can enjoy. There is no problem. See, I'm giving you such a good gift, return gift. One more thing, when we look here, focus on maintaining peace at home and avoid arguing with family members. Something on your property, etc., dispute, or even inheritance related stuff should not be brought up right now. That is important. And do not quit your job. Make major career moves, or let's say even fight or arguments or power struggles. We don't want to do this during this week and during this till 4th of March, because this is a challenging time. We want to avoid everything. And the reason of making this video is only because when I talk to people who are currently saying that, this happened, that happened, job losses, it's going crazy. That's the problem. But okay, overall, all the best. Jupiter is putting a saving grace on your what you call the 4th house, so which is good, but it is retrograde, so little bit slow results may be seen, but be safe. This is important time for you to do the Mahamrityunjay mantra so that your home and every family, everyone is safe. And also, if there is something that can be done related to Lord Ganesha, because Ketu bows down in front of Lord Ganesha, so if you go do some prayers related to God Ganesha, it is also going to be a very favorable thing for you to do. Thank you. All the very best. Take care and see you after the next video, or in this next video, and take care. Let's move to Sagittarius here to understand the pattern of Sagittarius. Yes, we will see that the eclipse, the energy is formed between the 9th and the 3rd house. That means every focus has come on your communication, your bosses, your teachers, your higher education, your spiritual knowledge, and whatnot. When we look here with the 9th house placement of Moon and Ketu together, this is where sometimes, a little bit of ego tussle or war or ego related stuff with your bosses can be showing up during this time. Or in the past few days, you must have seen that things are not looking that smooth. Somewhere there is a little bit of sarcasm in the environment, and that is because of this eclipse energy building. With the sun in the 3rd house, your communication or your efforts, wherever you are putting, however you are putting, sometimes the powerful people who are in powerful may not be able to notice or acknowledge at this point of time. So that's why the important time for you to is to be more peaceful, more relaxed. Don't try to panic over this period. This is a very temporary phase. Very soon this is going to end and you are going to be into real happiness. After 4th of March, from 17th of February till 4th of March, is this energy that we are going through. The reason of making this video is that because at this moment I know that the people with Sagittarius ascendant, their mind is racing. Your communication is bold, perhaps overly aggressive also at this point of time, that somewhere frustration is showing up in your work, at your work environment, and sometimes even your family or siblings, with your friends also. There are some kind of disturbances happening here. You might also experience that if there are short trips that were planned, if there are anywhere where you're going, it may delay, it may cancel, it may reschedule. So the frustration is building over that aspect of life also. Now the eclipse in the 9th house, the placement of eclipse, that is a moon getting afflicted in the 9th house. Here you will see that challenges related to your dharma, related to your bosses, related to even traditional beliefs, related to, we can even say, the message that we get from a mentor or a teacher may also be hurtful at this point of time. But this period, try to be as calm as you can. Just let this time pass. Not a very good time to actually plan travel during this period. If you're thinking of planning travel or going somewhere, then you need to be utmost careful, like very careful. See, 9th house of travel, 3rd house of short travel, both things are active right now, so the trigger will be in these areas. Also, when you look here with the ninth house, if there is any higher education or any exams or anything such that you are into a situation where you cannot avoid it, try to be doing as much as prayers related to Lord Ganesha. Om Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Ganeshaya Namaha. Because in this time when we have to control Ketu's energy, it is only Lord Ganesha who can help us. If your father shows any kind of health related conditions or issues, or even small complaint like, you know what, I'm having some acid reflux or I feel my chest pain, do not take it in a lighter way, take it in a very serious way. Ninth house is also the house of judicial system. If you are having any kind of date in the court, or you're doing any kind of court related procedure during this time, then you need to be also utmost careful and make sure that your analytics, your evidences, your paperwork, everything is up to mark. Otherwise, sometimes in this period, there is always disappointment kind of an environment which can happen. So we want to be avoiding such things. Okay, that is important. One more important great thing about the ninth house is about your we can say the ninth house. Why it is called Bhagyastan? You know this because it is 11th from the 11th house. It is 11th from the 11th house. That becomes the house of the utmost bhagya, desire, gains, fulfillment. This time you may also feel as moon is the lord of your eighth house. Somewhere when it comes to your goals, when it comes to your research, when it comes to your ability related to accomplishing something which you were able to accomplish very earlier, this may be a little bit of delayed period. So don't panic over it. When it comes to your in-laws, when it comes to inheritance, there can be some kind of rift or battle or challenges or arguments. Try to avoid it as that much as possible. In an overall level, this is a time to think twice before speaking, posting online, because third house, social media, your hands are ruled by third. Anything that you type in aggression, anything that you are writing in aggression may come to you and haunt you. That's why this should be avoided. Any angry email to your bosses because of the rift and cold war and nothing. Calm, shant, shanti, shanti, shanti. Please repeating shanti, 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 so that you are calm. And also, in any case, if you can honor your teachers, keep an open mind to new perspectives and channel your mental energy into writing or learning. This is going to be absolutely benefit for you during this time. Very important. Now, if you are in this, especially those who are pregnant women, has to be very, very careful. I've given the timings that when and what time they're happening in New York also, and in Indian Standard Time also. So depending on North America, you can adjust according to that, and IST you can adjust. This is the time that you should be extra careful related to those who are pregnant should not go out. Those who are, those who are, some people cannot avoid, but that's okay. But we need to always keep in mind that, okay, chanting the name of whatever belief and whatever religion, whatever faith you believe, please chant the name of the Holy Spirit. Try to help yours. Try to, even in this situation, if after the eclipse there is possibility, try to donate some rice or some grains or something in the place of worship, so that that can be later cooked and distributed for other people. So trying to do as much as dharma, spiritual pilgrimage after the eclipse is much required. But during the eclipse, try to be at home, try to be in meditative pose, try to be only doing meditation and reading some kind of a scripture related to spirituality, which is going to help you the most. I hope that you got a little bit of clarity about what happens during this eclipse, and we don't want to be in fear. We want to be in caution. Okay, so that's what we need. All the very best. See you in the next video. Let's move to the sign of Capricorn. Now, for Capricorn people here, the eclipse is happening on the axis of second and the eighth house. Eighth house is always seen for sudden ups and downs and transformation. So remember, ups also is there. So this is a great period when it comes to receiving something from the past. Either it is money, either it is investments. Very good. And good news for you with in-laws. In-laws wise, things will become very, very, sometimes because of a rift or because of some challenge or argument, there may be possible that some kind of darkness gets off from that, from that pressing concern that you had from a very long time. So that is very good for you. Now, since it's eclipse in the second and the eighth house, speech is what we should be at utmost control during this time. The whatever you speak, however you speak, try to be calm into it. With Krura planet setting Rahu, Sun, Mars, it is a time where your speech, you can only manipulate your speech. So this is not the right time. Financial matters and your personal, resources, that is fixed assets or possessions, will be very highly active, during this time. You might see sudden changes in your income or find your speech become unusually aggressive and demanding. Sudden change in the income means little bit of low when it comes to like little bit of less income during this time. So sorry for this, but very temporary period. Don't worry about it. Even if you have lent some money somewhere, or if you were supposed to receive some money from somewhere, receive some money is, yes, good news. Receive some money will come, but lend some money, that money is going to go away and never come back. So try to avoid any kind of lending during this time. The eclipse is in your eighth house. That can bring you deep psychological fears to the surface or trigger unexpected events related to shared wealth, vulnerability, occult. Those who are practicing occult, very very great time to do sadhana, meditation, doing some kind of a ritual around this period. Very good. Even after the eclipse, doing a homam, because the moon will be still in illumination, right? So if after the eclipse you can get into an homam havan, that's going to be very very good for you. But when it comes to relationships, intimacy, when it comes to one-on-one partnership, business partnership, this is where the most problem will be there, because seventh house lord has gone to the eighth house. And if you must have been seeing from 17th of uh, February, things might have been not in your control. Like things may not be moving into the right direction according to what you expected. Either it is your life partner, either it is your business partner. And health wise also, we might not be feeling that great, because see, second house is called maraka, which means that it can create multiple health problems with eyes, with back, with backbone, tailbone. In all these areas we may expect some problems, and sudden events which talks about dentist. You suddenly pain happens and you have to go to a dentist. These are the kind of sudden events that you may be experiencing during this time. It is just a very temporary period. No need to panic, just relax. Automatically everything will be solved. With the 10th house lord gone to the second house, and it is amidst of all these people, and it has just entered on second and third, there's an eclipse. Venus is too young right now to understand what is happening, because it will be at very less degrees here. So that's why in the workplace also, do not get into too much of like, do not hear things at a very primitive level and come to a conclusion. Try to have patience and wait, and let the whole picture actually unfold. Because sometimes with half knowledge we can create a big big either we can have a big setback, or we can make our big losses during this time, and we don't want that. I hope that you're understanding that it is a very minute observation which I have put, but it is an observation, so we want to be very careful. Otherwise, watch your words very carefully around family, to avoid creating any kind of rifts. Ground yourself daily in nature, and absolutely avoid risky financial matters or investments. If there is incoming, please welcome it. If there is outgoing, please stop it. This is the time here. All the very best. Those who are pregnant women, those who are very old, vulnerable, small kids should not go out of the house during the eclipse, because mind is not in the right space, and especially with eighth house, sudden events can happen. We want to avoid everything. When it comes to your health, we want to be very careful about even small trigger. Then we don't stay at home. What if you're getting heart attack and you're saying, no, no, eclipse, I cannot go out? No. When health problem comes, then you run to the hospital, run to the doctor. Do not take things lightly during this time. And when it comes to using sharp objects like knife, this, that's, cutting, mutting, or making breakfast, lunch, dinner, should be avoided. Try to be one day, try to fast for some time, like for 6 hours fast. 5 hours, it's not a very big deal. Fast. It will be very good for you in the future. All the very best. Have a great and a beautiful and a wonderful time. I hope that this eclipse brings a lot of real positive light into your life, and hope for the best. Take care. Now with Aquarius, we will see that for Aquarius, the Lagna and the seventh house is where the eclipse is happening. So the most impact happens over your relationships. All the planets are looking there. Moon is also present there, who's going to go into complete darkness at that point of time. That's why it's called lunar eclipse. Here in the relationship area, you may be having a lot of trouble, and you are hosting a very big party actually in the lagna. So five planets are sitting here. This means surge of physical energy. This physical energy can be violent also. We also don't see that it is always great only, but this energy can be violent. It can be violent, it can be ambitious, depending on how the mahadashanta dasha is going on. But also irritatably, and potential ego clashes can happen, because at this moment your mind, sorry to say, but there'll be a little bit of egoistic approach in your life, because when Rahu also comes to the first house, Sun also comes to the first house, it becomes a little bit more egoistic, like egoistic, that I, me, I, myself, me. This is what happens. So we want to make sure that, I suggest that this is the time to not prove yourself right or wrong. This is a try to just calm down and not actually speak anything about it. Ego is important at certain times, ego and self-respect is important. But at this period, this can actually ruin other people's life, or many of the people who are dependent on you can really feel very bad or very, very anxious during this time. So we want to be very careful, because when it comes to the first house, where the eclipse, what do you say, axis is, it is a house of your every aspect of life. Either it be finance, either it's money, name, fame, attitude, work, health, wealth, everything is seen from the first house. That's why it's called the ascendant. It has emotion for everything. We want to be careful during this emotion time, that we do not get overwhelmed. We do not try to get into some arguments, fights, showing power struggles, showing that I am great or this is great. Relax. Now, with Moon in the seventh house, we will see that it indicates a period of letting go of, you know, codependentness. Like, sometimes even if you're together, like if your spouse and you are together, if your business partner and you're together, we tend to sometimes depend on them for making decisions, depend on them for making, what you say, the changes in our life. But in this period, if that dependence is turning into argument, then it is important for you to just calm down and just park your idea for a few days, and let's act on it after 4th of March. That is important. You will also see that feeling very emotionally disconnected from your partner, or experiencing a major shift in business ties. Sometimes I was talking to someone about a contract, not here, I was talking on 14th, on 15th of February. I said that, it's coming, and when it is coming to the 7th house, I said contracts, and he said, sir, there is some very big contract my company is an entrepreneur, small level AI, we are waiting for. I said, even if it comes right now, very good, entertain everything, but try to get into signing only after 3rd of March and 4th of March, because your eclipse has to end. Otherwise, you sign right now, what if the contract comes, very nice, happy, good news, but what if you are trapped for a very long time? So this period is that way. You need to be absolutely careful about what you are doing for a long term situation, because the effect, or the the karma that happens will have long term effects. Someone even said, and someone asked me that, sir, why long term effects happen, and why, if I do that, that is just 3 6 hours. I said, if a childbirth happens and gets birth after 9 months, then does the child have a long term goal or long term karma, or it is just that day karma, and that day the child is born? Same way, in this period, the karma is born, it will have a long term effect as well. So that's how to interpret this kind of a situation. With this situation, we will also understand that there is possible health problems that which can we can face, so related to lower abdomen, uterus, urinary tract, sometimes with prostate. In these areas, if you have any concern, do not think about, okay, it is just muscle pull this, or no, you need to 100% find out that what the problem is and how it is going to get solved. We cannot ignore anything that comes up during the eclipse period, because it is a period which tells us about real problems, real, something that is in the darkness, something that is hidden. When eclipse happen and eclipse goes away from your life, that is a time it is showing that your darkness is now turning into light. So some challenges which you may ignore may be seen here potentially, where you can solve them. So we want to be doing this. Channel your immense physical energy into exercise and productive solo projects. Give your partner space and avoid letting your ego dictate your reactions. Try to be a little bit calmer. And those who are pregnant, those who are very old, those who are very young, like very infants, and you should not go out during the eclipse period. So depending on what time eclipse is happening in your area, you can Google it, you will find it, and you should not go out during that period. Also, when it comes to cooking, should not be done. When it comes to chopping using sharp objects, no, don't be a carpenter that day, don't be a handyman that day. Try to be as calm as possible. That's my suggestion as well as request. All the very best. I hope that this eclipse clears all your darkness from your life and brings a lot of great, light and powerful transformation to you. So have a great time. Pisces. Now, when we talk about Pisces here, the eclipse is happening in the axis of 12 and 6, which means that hidden matters, subconscious fears, and expenses are amplified during this time. You may be feeling out of place, out of sight, out of mind of people, and you may also not be able to concentrate in the right point at the right place. The reason behind this is that such powerful energy, if goes into subconscious mind, then you have five different things going at one point. Multitasking. Your mind is multitasking over, should I write? My gas is on, my interview is tomorrow, my kid has to come from school. So five damn things are going at one point of time. In this period, this is the major period of enemy coming and attacking you, not physically but mentally also. It means that this period is when enemies are getting much more powerful. Ketu is not a fighter of enemies, Rahu is a fighter of enemies, Mars is a fighter of enemies. You must have seen over the past 1 year, from the time Ketu has come to the sixth house, the enemy pattern must have become too hard on your life, like a lot of enemies, lot of people who must be playing politics against you, because Ketu is a submissive planet. It is a surrender. It is a monk. How can monk say that I have an enemy? So that is the way Ketu acts here. So somehow in this period, because of Moon's energy coming here, Ketu becomes very active. And sometimes because of your creativity, because of the achievements, because of the gains that you have got, and the respect that you have got in the past, many people may try to show. And starting from this month, beginning only like from 17, the energy is so active that you must now feel that yes, this is happening in my life, things are not going according to the plan. Also, when you look here, the sixth house is the health house, daily work and routine house. My god, health wise we must be feeling overwhelmed, some kind of challenges related to health may be happening. We want to be controlling during this time. And especially if from 28th, first, second, third, if any sudden health related issues or some chest pain, stomach pain, leg pain, this pain, that, anything comes, do not take it in the lighter way. There is a possibility that it can be something that Moon is trying to tell you, that we need to immediately solve this problem. So that's how it is supposed to be. You may also feel a very strong desire to isolate, travel abroad. But this is not a very great time to travel abroad, because there may be disruptions, there can be changes, there can be legal issues also sometimes, and those who are in a foreign country, sometimes taxation related, sometimes problems related to immigration can happen here, and suddenly you will not even remember why, the not understand what happened, but suddenly things can come. So we want to be very, very careful here. Also, the eclipse in your sixth house, it is highlights a need to let go of a lot of toxic work environment. It does not mean that we will quit it, but we will make sure that we remove, or we put our focus on something different rather than on the toxic work environments. And you need to pay strict attention to your health, as I mentioned you, particularly digestion or heart related issues. Absolutely 100% you need to take care of during this time. Mercury retrograde, remember, fourth house lord retrograde in the 12th house, so not a great time. Also, when it comes to donations, this is the time that donating to charity, volunteering your time, or naturally appeases this heavy 12th house energy. Practice yoga, meditation, spiritual retreats. Strictly avoid taking on new debts. No new loans. Neither ask, neither give. Or engaging with hidden enemies, like someone that this person is not a good, does not have a good feeling about me, or does not treat me well. Do not poke them. This is the time to just stay away from such people. More importantly, when it comes to all the pregnant women, when it comes to all the older age people, when it comes to very young infant, you should not go out, because this time mind is not in control. So sometimes if mishap happens, then it is very difficult for us to control. Secondly, while we are in the eclipse period, cutting, chopping, getting any kind of using sharp objects, becoming unnecessary electrician that day to try to do something, avoid. The best time, and you are especially, the best time for you is that sit down quietly in a nice dark place, meditate over this time, try to make sure your curtains and everything are on. You do not cook during this time, you do not eat during this time. But if something that like kids, very young kids, they have to have milk every 1 hour, every 2 hour, for them there is no way that you can stop it. But try to make sure that the milk bottle is covered. Try to make sure when you are eating, if something, you are pregnant, you have diabetes, any problems like that, you have to eat, make sure you're eating sattvic food without onion and garlic, so that that tamasic energy does not go into your body on a larger level. Then when going to after the eclipse is done, then take a nice shower, wear new clothes, go to temple, donate something like rice, dal, lentils, these kind of things you donate, so that you will feel very, very much better, powerful, and lot of we cannot say bad energy, we say lot of energy which was blocking our progress actually moves out. There is a this is a reset period. Remember, every eclipse cycle is a reset to, win over darkness. This constantly we keep seeing that darkness is there, no problem, but very temporary. 4 hours, 6 hours, we will win over it. Same way in life, when we have problem, we have challenges, it is this eclipse or this energies or planets are saying that it is just very temporary, don't worry. Finally, light will always win over darkness. That is the message of eclipse for everyone in this world. Okay, so you remembered, no, especially those who are going for court dates, legal things, you need to be also extra careful because there can be sudden events at that place where which may be unexpected. Or do not play with the government, do not drink and drive, do not do any kind of stupid things which may land you up into a jail or into isolated places. Very important. If you are even having visa interviews, something, do a lot of Ganesha mantras and then go, because something you cannot avoid, but energy also should be in our control, right? So this is that time. All the very best. There is a small announcement that Learn Astrology, it starts 14th of March 2026, 16 lessons. So those who have enrolled, good. Those who have not, then you can. And thank you so much for watching. And I hope that you have a very wonderful and a peaceful eclipse time. Thank you. Till the time we meet again. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman, Jai Mata Di, Jai Mahalakshmi. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.